Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology horoscope for Tuesday, September 17th, 2013. I am astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, this is September to remember. If you did watch the webinar, now that we are halfway through the month, I have brought down the September to Remember webinar to a couple bucks. Go check it out on my website. I'm going to do this now. If you want to watch the last couple weeks of what this September to Remember is, and if you've already watched the webinar, I talked about the third and fourth week of September as being the big September to Remember weeks. And we are here now. We are at this juncture point. We've got a full moon starting to brew here with a full moon in Pisces beginning. It actually goes full on Thursday. So this is a build-up full moon because it's happening at the very end of Pisces. So we are going to go through it here the next couple of days. We are washing through our past. We are washing through our spirituality. We are connecting with behind the curtain. Because what is Pisces? Pisces is behind the curtain. It is everything outside of this reality. Virgo is this reality. It is the physical manifestation of it. And so we are at this very weird in-between, behind the curtain, on the other side of the curtain, this veil being lifted as well, because we have Venus and Saturn in the North Node all conjuncting right now in 8 degrees of Scorpio. Venus at 7 and comes into 8 over the next 24 hours. This is like the power punch of truth into your raw sushi that we talked about yesterday of your soul. But a lot of this has to do with relationships, and because the moon today is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces, which is a very thin veil as it is, connecting with this ultra thin veil that goes all the way to the root of relationships and your value systems, and where the problems are maybe in your life, which are going to be the problems connected towards maybe value systems you're attached to or relationships you're investing in that you're not getting your return back. This has to do with where your returns are in investment. I mean, it is Scorpio. It is connected with past life karma, and this is a huge clearing because this has been this new paradigm which is really starting to jolt us into our lives. Yesterday I talked about how it's going to be hard if you're not in alignment with your truth. It's going to be hard if you're not in alignment within the new age and the new way that this energy goes with. The awareness, the consciousness. It's just hard now if you're not aware, if you're not really taking a look at every situation and connecting with soul and coming from compassion and coming from a place of alignment. And today, we're going to start to see through all the cracks. We're going to start to see through everything and really connect with who we are and connect with our dynamic self and really learn to wash away past life karma, to wash away a lot of this past energy which could be holding us from the reality and being the way that we want it to be, right? We always talk about karma and spirituality and how it affects your reality. This is dealing with return on investment. And where have you been investing a lot of your karma? In relationships especially, because Venus is here. It's going to be intense here the next 48 hours. And actually 72 since we got a full moon building, and we are about to see through the veil in our lives. We've got Mars and Mercury, which are in a perfect sextile, so communication is a really important part of all this. Making sure that you're feeling that fairness in your relationships, making sure that you're getting out what you feel is fair. There's a lot of that happening in a lot of relationships where people don't feel it's fair, everybody's got their own side, and we're having to work all this stuff out. And it's not easy to work out. A lot of it's going to have to deal with, at the end of the day, is the stock giving you your return back. And this is dealing with past life stuff and karmic stuff. And so the positive in all this is we get to the bottom of things this week very intensely in this past energy and how it affects our reality here in this life. And Mars, which is wanting instant gratification for love and happiness and exciting now, is freed off the nodes, freed off this energy that it had been with Saturn and everything. And there's this gung-ho energy starting to come in a lot of our lives for us wanting to feel good now. And so this adds for an equation where some people might get dropped in relationships because everybody's not seeing their way and everybody wants to go into their instant gratification of go here now, like, it's very intense. Then on top of all that, we've got this full moon in Pisces, which makes it a very sensitive energy for the next 48 hours, especially It's dealing with the past, it's murkiness, it's seeing through the fog today, especially because Neptune's involved. And you're going to start to understand what this transit is happening to all of us with Neptune and Chiron and Pisces. You're going to feel the effects of it over the next 24 hours and what it all means in your life. There are going to be trigger points that will continue on for a while in our lives that today is going to bring up. And you're going to have to use your spiritual radar to detect them. I wish I could do it completely for you in this horoscope. If I looked at your chart, I could probably help you. But even after the chart reading, there is something deep inside that we're all having to become aware of right now. And it has to deal with this Pisces energy and an area of where we lose reality, an area of where we get lost. And today we can, be careful with not getting too lost today and coming back to reality, because the whole lesson, it is Virgo. It is organizing our reality. It is getting things in alignment. And with today, we need to pay attention to the signs. We need to pay attention to this return on investment in every area. So outside of relationships, even though the universe is highlighting relationships heavily right now, this has to do also with where are you investing your energy? Whether it's in what you're manifesting, where you're putting your money towards, where you're putting a lot of this energy in your life right now, and what is the return on investment? Is it part of this raw sushi in truth? Is it spoiled? Yesterday I talked about how, raw food and raw energy can get spoiled if it's not specially cared. I actually didn't say that, but this is where we have to be tested in how well we are handling our raw soul. If we're refrigerating it right, or are we letting it out to spoil? And what kind of investments are we making with our energy as well? Is it returning back your awesome truth? Scorpio wants a connected investment of a 100% return. And if it doesn't get that back, it's not satisfied. That hunger is not satisfied. This has to do with our hunger. And with Mars and Mercury today, I think it's important to push through, even though Mercury is going to start squaring Jupiter here, and there's a lot to say, and it can go way too far, and Mars is pushing it to say something. I think it's important to at least say it, but come from a place of fairness, come from a place of responsibility, come from a place of compassion, because the secret to Pisces is compassion into this reality. The compassion to also let go of the past, to let go of these past life relationships, to let go of this past life karma, and to come into this reality and bridge new karma. And so this is about the new karma in our lives. And how are we going to build all this? And how is it referring to our reality right now in making sure that we are disconnected from karma that probably doesn't need to be around because it's limiting us from actually creating the reality we want? And a lot of this has to do with where are you investing your energy? Because Venus to me is the physical aspects of money, relationships, everything. It really is everything that we know in this material world. And Saturn is time. So where's the time? What relationships are taking your time? And are you getting what you've put in worthy back? And this is going to hit us hard in the next 48 hours. And there's going to be things said, and there's going to be crazy, whip, fate train alert for the next 48 hours. And I would even say 72, because this full moon comes and then it comes into Aries and what is it? And I didn't even bring it up because even though it's like this weird period, Pluto is about to go direct on Friday. And we are at the stationary entry of Pluto not doing anything. Pluto is standing there laughing through all this, ready to expose and ready to transform your life so intensely in the next week. It's one of those weeks, everybody. And I pay attention to it, and I would really listen to your guides and your gut and your past life energy and not get lost, but be clear in consciousness. Be clear in the higher vibration. Be clear in what it is that you want to invest your time, money, energy, relationships, and passions into. Are you getting back what you really want? Is that what you really want in your life? Is this the way you want this reality to be? The Matrix? Do you want it to be this way? Or how can you bring the right imagination? Don't forget about imagination at this period. The imagination is used to make this reality more bubbly and exciting and beautiful. But we also have to be realistic. It's a balance of both. And the realism comes from living in your truth, getting your return on investment, speaking up for what's fair, speaking up for what's right, and expanding your comfort zones and taking action in ways that you've never taken action before, which takes courage. It takes ovaries, it takes balls. It takes understanding how to take it, though, in the proper, compassionate, and beautiful way, which we are going to see people and whether or not they're aligned in that truth of spirit, compassion, and awareness. And we're also going to see the other flip of the coin of people taking action in ways that are not coming from compassion, not coming from awareness, and not coming from understanding who they really are. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, because I have the big webinar on sale now for a couple bucks for the rest of the month. So check that out. Plus, I'm going to start taking signups this week for the next webinar for October. I haven't named that one yet, but I've already been looking, and we are getting into some big, deep, intense waters, right? We got that big square coming up too, the cardinal cross of the sun, going to be at the end of Libra. But also, if you want a one-on-one reading with me, I've got some slots available, so check me out at inclusiveastrology.com. And I thank you guys so much for everything, and I will see you for more of this full moon tomorrow.